The Bears beef up for winter by eating some steak. Trou-bull in paradise? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that the Bulls' backs were up against the wall and they needed to fight back or risk being pushed off the cliff by the Bears, and that's exactly what we saw. The Bulls were unable to muster any strength, and the Bears took the market down. Now the question is, how far will we go? I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, before we jump into the charts, as you can see on the screen, our Elliott Wave for Beginners course is helping people understand the market. And, of course, we use Elliott Wave in the charts, and you can see by our other testimonials that people are doing really well. We absolutely killed it today. The market's moving as we expected. So if you want to be part of this winning team, stay tuned for later in the video. For now, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. As I talked about in yesterday's video, even though this is a shallow wave 2, we are selling off of a diagonal, and very often you see less structure or shallower bounces, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So we did have a wave 1 down right here, wave 2 up, and then we had that 1-2 setup where they came down to the top of the pivot at 44.48. And I said if the Bears can't fight back from there, they should break it down below 44.25, and that's exactly what we saw. The market closed below the pivot. This is usually a pretty strong sign of follow-through. Now, the Bulls aren't totally dead. They do have some places to fight back from, but they really need to start pushing, or they're going to get this 5 waves run down, and then we're going to look at a pretty bearish winter. So as we look at this, we break the pivot. The next key level here is going to be in this 44.14 zone. They're right above this wave 2 high. There'll be a little bit, this is the July lows. There'll be a little bit of support here. The Bulls can try to hold that and push higher, but a break of this leads us directly to 43.88, which is the 1.0 extension, which is where I expect us to hit. That 43.88 area is very important for both the Bulls and Bears. And the reason for that is, if we're going to have an ABC down off of this high, you would expect it to hit the 1.0 extension, which is 43.88. If that's the case, what we would look for if you're a bull, if you're looking for the move higher, is you'd look for 5 waves off of this low to start the next push up back towards all-time highs. My expectation is actually that we break 43.88 and push down towards 43.52, which would be the bearish path. The reason that is my expectation is we have a very strong 5 waves down here. They hit all of the targets. You got a bounce. You got a really nice 1-2 setup, which is what you'd expect to see in a wave 3, not necessarily a wave C. And they've broken the pivot in the way that they're supposed to. So I actually expect this to push through 43.88 and follow through to the downside. And if they do, the next target would be 43.52. Now that target is important because it's the weekly 21 EMA, which is a very strong support area. And that would be where we would look to bounce and then come back up to the 764 at 44.25. So overall, we're still looking for this wave 3 of 3 to continue to the downside towards that 43.52 area. But if the Bulls can find some kind of strength here at 44.13 or 43.88 or even just below it, this wave 4 low will provide some support. So they could spike the 1.0 and move up. We want to see the 1.236 to be bearish. That's what we're looking at here over the next few days. So 43.88 is your key number. If they can tag that, what happens next is extremely important. Over on the NASDAQ, we are also looking for them to continue lower. The question for me is it impulsive or a diagonal? I can count it both ways. I think it's more naturally a diagonal here, but we do have a solid 5 down for this wave 1. Then you'd have wave 2, 3, 4, and if they hit 14.747, I would consider it more of a wave 1 down impulsively. But if they come up short here in this area that they're in, down to about the 18.850 area, 14.850 area, if they come into that area and bounce in a strong way, then I will think of it as more of a diagonal, and we would look for them to come back up into that 15.6 area. So overall, NASDAQ's looking to continue down with ES towards 14.747, 14.850 area. Depending on where they bottom and bounce, we'll have a better idea of how to count this bigger wave down. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to the website. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there. I want you to make sure you love it and become part of our trading team before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners course if you don't want to be a monthly member. This course is 25 videos where I break down Elliott Wave in 3 different parts. The first is the introduction and mindset, where we go over why it works, how you're supposed to use it, what the expectations are, using the KISS method with it, and getting yourself ready for how to use Elliott Wave. The second part is your chart setup and tools. Every tool you need to use along with Elliott Wave to kind of confirm where your targets are, where your chart bottoms are, tops, different kind of turn points, all of that stuff, so you can find out when and where the market is going to turn. And finally, the Elliott Wave for Beginners area, where I go through each of the 5 waves, how corrective and impulsive waves work, so that you can finally understand the market instead of trying to decipher the news. The cool part about that plan is it comes with both monthly memberships. So if you don't want to pay for the course and you want to become a monthly member, it is included for free. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY in the QQQ, and we swing trade, which means our trades can last anywhere from a few days to a few months, so we don't trade quite as often as the day trading room does. However, if you are interested in day trading, as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that just crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures the trade that's so unique. It's something you kind of have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account, trading mini ES futures, averaging 3 to 4% gains per week, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. Key takeaways for today. 43.88 is the number to watch, assuming they can push down through through the support here, get to that number. How it reacts there is important. If the bulls can fire it up and take it back through the pivot, then it becomes very problematic for the bears. However, if the bears can push it down to the 1236 at 43.52, then the bears are in control until the bulls prove they are not. Over on the NASDAQ, we are looking for them to come lower into that 14,850 to 14,747 area. From there, we would look for a bounce, and how that bounce takes shape will tell us if we have an impulsive or diagonal down. I do lean towards the diagonal just because they only hit the 1.0 and are going to hit the 1.764, or it looks like they are. And if that's the case, we would expect a pretty strong rally. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.